Hello, Serge here from the back tee. Clipboard, got a question. So let's look at what the situation here is. Divot diagnosis, Serge. Before I even read this question, I'm just going to say this is really ironic that this question comes up, because I just made a note the other day in my things to do list of videos and instruction that I need to discuss giving the definition of figuring out what a good divot is and how to read a divot, as I call it. And I guarantee you, I've almost yet to find anybody who knows what it is. And I had a big lesson the other day, and a person asked me the same question that Kim is going to ask me right now, and that I'm going to read. And so I'm going to kind of explain it. But what I'm going to promise you is that this will be done in a really good video lesson on the range or on the golf course, where I can show you a good divot when it's target oriented. But I will answer it. So Kim asks, divot diagnosis, Serge. I have really enjoyed your teachings and look forward to spring to try out my new swing. Please help me with the following issue that has bothered me for many years. I am a 7 handicap, capable of scoring in the low 70s, but I also seem to be entirely able to soar to the upper 80s. My issue is that my divot path at times is at a 45-degree angle, indicating a severe outside to in swing. My old pro always said, don't worry about your divot. You hit the ball solid, and there is nothing wrong with your gentle fade. I don't like it. Please advise. Thanks, Kim. Deep freezing in Iowa. Okay, Kim. Hopefully we can get you something that's going to warm you up a little bit here. So if either of you are wondering what he meant by 45 degrees out to in, most people believe that if you hit a good divot, all right, and I'm just going to take my hat off and I'm going to lay it here as what it looks like a divot. They believe that the divot should be, if you lay the club, after you make it and you lay the club down it, it should be right down that aiming line at your target. What Kim is saying is when he does it, his divot's over here about 45 degrees to the left. So if you lay the club down the dead center of the divot, the club's going way over there. And so the implication is that the club had to come over the top to hit it there. And what's perplexing Kim, and I got the answer because of what his pro told him. His pro said, don't worry about your divot. You hit the ball solid. So the only way Kim could have hit the ball solid was that, and relatively straight, because he's hitting just a very soft cut. As he said here, a gentle fade, which we call that a soft cut or a baby cut. He had to be somewhat dead square coming over that line. So his face had to be here, not there. So he had to be coming on, and was relatively square at impact. And maybe in his case, he could have just held on a fraction longer, and that's why he got the baby cut. So the point is, even when he hits that shot, and he has that soft cut or baby cut, and he comes over here and he sees his divot and he looks at it this way, or maybe even lays a club and he goes, this is like, how can that be? I hit it pretty darn solid. The ball's supposed to be going over there. It's going over there, but look where my divot is. Well, that's not the way you read a divot. You read a divot by the very end of it, like here, because like what I say now is to folks that the key to impact, if you're making a good swing, is that, I'll take my hat up and put it back as square, is the club enters the ball square right here at the center of my hat. And if we make a good swing and we come in with the club face, square to the aiming line, as we go through and we go into the forward mid toe up, what is the club doing? The toe is coming out of the ground faster than the heel. And if you happen to hit you play on turf where I got to believe in Iowa, you got some good dirt, so you can take even if you take a shallow divot, it could be pretty long. So you catch it, and even if you nip it pretty close, you're tearing the grass out pretty good. You could have a divot sometimes that could be that long, even with a 7 or a 6 or 5 iron. And so, but now because the club is coming out of the turf, and going into the catcher's mitt toe up, it's effectively doing what? It's effectively turning to the inside because of that curvature on the outside. So the way you measure it is right where the divot started. I always tell them, if the divot started, even if the divot's over there where it started right here, you can see where the line was dead straight and square to where your ball started. You come to that outside edge, you put a club on the leading edge of the club on the very outside of that line, perpendicular to that line, and then look down that aiming line, look where it's aiming, and it'll very likely be aiming dead at your target if you hit the ball solid and straight. And relatively straight where it started at the target, or within, a yard or so of it, it'll be almost dead aiming at your target. But yet the divot's still over here to the left. because it had to go over to the left as the toe was coming up out of the ground faster than the heel. So the way to read a divot is just don't lay the club in it. You got to go back to the very beginning, put that club outside, and look where it points. So hopefully this explains it, but I will promise you, I will do this on a golf course where we got a really good divot that's just been peeled out of the ground, and we can explain this a lot better. And with a camera up here, with a really good camera up here on top of it, really close, and then get some back view so you can see it. But hopefully this explains it, and it's going to help a lot of you out there, because I know there's a lot of golfers that are always scratching their head, and it's kind of one of those unanswered questions that, well, it looks like I'm outside the in, but yet I hit it straight, so I don't know. I guess that's just one of those weird things I don't know and I can't explain it. You know, like the Bermuda Triangle. And so we'll call this the Bermuda Divot conundrum. But I hope I answered it for you, because it's not a conundrum and it's not the Bermuda Triangle dilemma. It's answerable when you understand the concept of the club coming through and going toe up in the forward catcher's mitt. All right? So I hope this gives you your answer, Kim, and when that video comes out and I can show it a lot better, it'll really be even more understandable. So, talking about divots, what a good divot is, and why it's caused, that's it from the back porch, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.